Hello and welcome to Studio 415.
On today's show, you will hear about some problems with the student drop-off line and if administration plans to change it.
You'll see how several CHS art teachers use their talents outside of school for personal art.
And you'll find out how educational travel trips have added depth to several classes at Carroll.
All of that and more coming up next.
Welcome to Studio 415. I'm Brandon Hedges.
And I'm Jacob Newland. Although it's already the first day of spring, these past few months have brought harsh winter weather. Many students are glad to have their own car to stay warm in while waiting for the doors to unlock in the morning.
However, there are still over 300 students who are dropped off by their parents. Studio 415 reporter Amelia Cisna has more on the parent drop-off line, the problems with it, and how people feel about it.
Though many students drive to school or ride the bus every day, there is a significant number of students who are dropped off by their parents. The current system allows for parents to drop their children off at either the main entrance of CFC or door 36 in the 1012 building. However, problems arise frequently in the line due to the large number of parents and students in a small space, sometimes going unsupervised.
We also want to make sure we're monitoring the students who drive and the bus line, and plus have administrators in the building, and so we just try to be around and be mindful of it.
The drop-off traffic begins at the freshman center. Parents are instructed to drop off their child and pull out of the parking lot, but many freshman parents stay parked outside of CFC. The single-lane system in place discourages parents from passing the parked cars. The line begins to back up as parents begin to arrive around 7:45. Many parents, especially in colder months, allow their children to stay in the car until doors are unlocked at 8:10. This causes a large backup of cars to form, starting at door 40 and snaking around the parking lot, sometimes blocking the fire lane. This delay poses inherent issues for working parents.
Especially since a lot of parents have jobs and have to get there really quickly, it's easier if you just drop your kid off and leave, even if it is cold, just because other people need to get through.
Though dropping off a student in the morning can add to an already hectic schedule, the administration frowns upon parents to add a second lane. Additionally, they discourage parents from dropping off their children at door 13, which is strictly against the current policy. Even though it can be tempting to pull around the line or go to door 13, School Resource Officer Kristen Lewis encourages all parents to follow the rules to make the drop-off smoother.
I don't think it's broken. I think it's a system that just, if everybody did it the proper way, it would work. Again, it's just the pulling forward, the leaving earlier in the morning, maybe 5 or 10 minutes earlier, so that you're not late for work, letting your child out, maybe waiting outside for 5 minutes or 10 minutes before school starts. That sort of thing, so that would definitely help.
While it's true that the system isn't being utilized properly, we observed that the drop-off line does not work for all parents. With the division of students waiting in their cars and parents needing to drop off their children before work, the single-lane system does not meet everyone's needs.
There is no current plan to change the drop-off system. However, each year the administration does email the district regarding its new rules, so keep an eye out for any updates. For Studio 415, I'm Amelia Cisna.
Carroll's Jazz 1 ensemble competed at the ISMA State Finals on Friday.
Indiana's top 8 jazz groups perform at North Central High School in hopes of winning the state championship title.
Jazz 1 placed second behind Northside High School with the best saxophone solo awarded to sophomore Sean Hunn. The band was also awarded the best trombone section for the night. You can see Jazz 1 perform along with the other NACS jazz ensembles on Friday, May 10th for their annual Jazz Cafe.
Both of Carroll's winter guards also had successful weekends.
The JV and varsity guards performed at Center Grove High School for their state competition on Saturday.
They each placed second in their respective divisions, making them the IHS CGA State Silver Medalists.
Carroll's Champions Together Unified Bowling Team traveled to Carmel to compete in the state championship on Saturday.
26 schools competed in the finals. Carroll's combined score was 1,336 points, which earned the team a third-place state finish.
The students of Carroll's Radio and Television 2 class recently earned several awards. The class entered Studio 415 into the Indiana Association of School Broadcasters statewide competition and earned a third-place finish while competing against over 50 other high schools.
The class also entered several other videos in the Concordia Comedy Film Festival. First place was awarded to junior Brandon Hedges for his video Cult Rap. Second place was awarded to senior Drew Wilberger and junior Megan Holt for the video Website Memorial. And third place was awarded to Drew Wilberger, senior Amelia Cisna, and senior Haley Carter for their video ChargersOnly.com. Brandon also earned the People's Choice Award, giving Carroll a full sweep at Concordia.
Creativity is a part of everyone's life, but for the art teachers here at Carroll, it stretches from their classroom to home.
Showcasing not only their ability to teach, but also their artistic ideas, Studio 415 reporter Haley Carter has the story.
Whether they use a pen and paper or a monitor and mouse, Carroll's art teachers live their passion in their home and work life.
For Carroll's fine art teachers, their work is a labor of love. Many of the teachers pursue their hobbies outside of school, whether it is for money or simply because they enjoy expressing their talent. Art has been a piece of their lives that they've thankfully been able to carry throughout their work. In the case of Jeremy McFerrin, one of the digital design teachers at Carroll, he uses his skills to create logos and posters for events, as well as more personal projects, such as his comic influenced by his family. He uses this experience to teach his classes.
It's really fun to talk to a professional animator, illustrator, or comic book artist or whatever, and then bring it back and say, hey, this is what you're interested in, well, here's what it's really like, or here's some things to think about.
As an artist, teacher Scott Kilmer felt that while his work was good, he could develop his skills even further. In order to do so, he attended workshops in Ohio to gain a new perspective on art. It allowed him to appreciate art and its creative process more so than he had before. He used this newfound knowledge to teach his students new strategies as well.
As I got more confident with a variety of painting techniques, I was able to pass that on to the students.
Nicole Croy, the photography teacher at Carroll, has taken her passion for photo and turned it into her life. She expresses her love through her teaching and by shooting as much as possible. She often uses pinhole cameras for her work as they're an inexpensive way to make art. However, pursuing her love, she has discovered that just wanting to be a fine art photographer might not be the best path.
I encourage students, if they want to study photography, they have to find a channel, whether it's, the medical field where they're photographing through some kind of a microscope, or there's so many different areas of photography they can go.
Their experience in the arts has allowed them to teach their classes more effectively. They pass on this knowledge to their students through the class itself and through more personal advice.
When it comes to getting through the everyday and finding something that you feel passionate about, I think that's very important for every person to be able to find.
Because almost everything in our lives is touched by an artist somehow. Somebody designed your clothes, somebody designed your glasses, somebody designed the car you came to school in, somebody designed the chair I'm sitting in. An artist has his or her hand in almost every aspect of our lives.
If you're interested in any of these fields, make sure to add an art class to your schedule. For Studio 415, I'm Haley Carter.
Whether it be a passionate debate about the death penalty or an informative presentation about potatoes, the speech and debate team, along with the class, spend much of their time both in and out of class developing their communication skills.
To get a more in-depth look, Studio 415 reporter Jaden Brown joins us in the studio to see what speech and debate looks like at Carroll.
Speech and debate focuses on the power of the spoken word. Here at Carroll, students are given many opportunities to improve upon these skills.
The speech and debate classes have been offered at Carroll for a while. The speech class primarily focuses on developing the tools necessary for students to effectively communicate their ideas in a professional setting. In class, students are introduced to an assortment of different challenges, including presentations, live-action role plays, and sales pitches, all of which are designed to give students the opportunity to improve upon their skills. Speech and debate teacher John Diggets believes that his classes are designed to give his students a place to explore and develop speaking abilities.
I feel like speech class gives kids an opportunity to take risks and find who they are. We really try to focus on creating a safe classroom environment.
The debate class, on the other hand, focuses on academic discussion about often controversial topics. Students typically research these topics beforehand to be prepared to discuss and develop an opinion on these subjects. Students will also participate in what is known as a SPAR debate, or spontaneous argumentation. While any student can take the speech and debate classes offered at Carroll, there is another option for those interested in the more competitive aspect of the activity. Although the team attended their last competition on March 8th, the speech and debate team at Carroll worked hard all year to prepare their strenuous competitions, meeting every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday after school. Members typically focus on one or two events within either speech or debate, such as improvisation, informative speaking, or duo performances. The students then attend inter-school competitions on the weekends, performing in their specific event anywhere between 4 to 6 times throughout the day. The speech and debate team at Carroll has had more successful season than any other year. Led by team sponsor Michael Schaffner, this past season was the team's inaugural year in the National Speech and Debate Association. Additionally, the team placed 10th at state finals, their highest finish to date, against some incredibly competitive groups. Due to the individual nature of the activity, however, some members received high honors. Senior Maddie Grime placed in both informative speaking and original oratory, while junior Noah Johnson placed first at the district competition U.S. Extemporaneous Speaking. Both their placements qualified them for the national competition held in Dallas, Texas. Although Grime cannot attend, Grime, however, says that these accomplishments are simply an indicator of the level of quality the team is able to produce.
As a team, we've been doing great. We have a lot of people that are breaking to finals. In terms of sweepstakes points, which is the total points from an entire team, we haven't been doing amazing, but that's because we have a small team, so we can't rack up those points. But hopefully we'll be able to grow in the future and win some of those sweepstakes competitions.
Through the season, members of the team spend a large amount of time together, critiquing each other's work and competing alongside one another. During the process, many members of the team develop intense bonds with other members of the team.
I love the people that I am with. I've never met a better group of people. I love them so much. They're really good at what they do. They hold their heads really high no matter what. And they work really, really hard, and they're genuine. And everybody's here to have a good time and to work on themselves.
Even though the team season is over, they're still looking for new members. If you're interested, you can talk to Mr. Schaffner or any of the students in the team already. For Studio 415, I'm Jaden Brown.
Sitting in seats, listening to lectures, and doing projects seems to be how most education takes place in high school.
Not every teacher believes that all education has to take place in the classroom. In my story, you will get to see how educational trips provide a deeper level of knowledge.
Over the summer, many students use a long break to relax, work, and possibly even go on family vacations. But in the summer of 2019, many students will still be involved with school, but not in the way you might think. Instead of simply taking a summer course at the high school, many students are gearing up to travel across the nation and even the globe on educational trips. The primary goal of these trips is to offer students a learning experience by traveling to areas of different cultures and truly live the experiences that they may discuss in class. For example, Jim Walker, the AP Environmental Science teacher, has been planning an excursion with many of his students to travel to the island of Costa Rica and truly see the ecological processes that the students may learn in class. Over the trip, students will gain an opportunity to experience Costa Rica and explore the tropical rainforests, zipline, travel to cocoa plantations, whitewater raft, and so much more. The trip is meant to allow students to have an experience of a grand adventure and begin to expand their worldview, all the while learning more about the environmental sciences and processes that they also learn in the AP Environmental Sciences class. Walker says that this is an experience that grows students not only educationally, but personally.
It's like an amazing personal growth opportunity for students. Just for them to go on this grand adventure. You're away from your parents, you're having all these amazing experiences with a whole bunch of different people. You build a lot of social skills. So it's just a grand adventure that I love planning for students, and we do it every year.
The trip to Costa Rica is offered to all students, especially those interested in environmental sciences, and is the most affordable international trip offered to students, being at around only $2,000. The trip even offers a high school and college credit for going to Costa Rica. The trip for summer 2019 has already been planned and is unavailable for sign-up, but if you'd like to go on the 2020 trip, you can email Jim Walker or stop by one of his informational meetings in room 110 when they are announced.
While the trip to Costa Rica is already revving up to go, that is not the only trip available for students. Another AP course, AP Language, is also planning a trip for their students.
During fall break of 2019, the AP Language and Composition classes will spend a long weekend in New York City to explore the many monuments and memorials housed in the Big Apple. The trip, though optional, offers an experience for students to truly live and breathe the lessons they learn in class, all the while giving them an excursion to get out of their comfort zone. Students will experience a few days in the city and will be able to see Central Park, Times Square, the United Nations, the September 11th Memorial Museum, a Broadway musical, and so much more. AP Language and Composition often focuses on current events and persuasion within the modern world, and the trip to New York City is there to tie directly into the class. AP Language teacher Carrie Weishart speaks of how the trip will reflect the class's curriculum.
And we're going to be talking about what is the rhetoric, like why do they use that particular monument? What is it supposed to say? That's what we learn about in AP Language, is how are people trying to persuade us? And so we're going to be doing that with the monuments in New York City.
The trip to New York City this year is the first of its kind and is meant to start a tradition with the class to be an annual adventure for seniors taking AP Language. And with the price point at around $800, hopefully it will be affordable enough for the students now and in the future. These trips are only just a few options available for students, and there are plenty of future trips that have yet to be announced, so be on the lookout for different opportunities in the future. And if you have a trip in mind that you would like to attend, make sure to start saving now, as many of these trips are not cheap. For Studio 415, I'm Brandon Hedges.
That's all we have today. Thanks for watching.
If there is an event that you would like covered, please tell us in advance by emailing us or talking to Bob Johnston in room 417.
For all of us here at Studio 415, have a great week, Carroll.
Sunny days and friendly smiles, walk the halls with me. Studio 415. Watch the news unfold.